Over the past half-century, far too little attention has been paid to a profound transformation in Canadian society. Obscured by mainstream media, Canada's social trajectory remains poorly understood. A certain type of citizen can recognize the transition. Canadian-born citizens retain an ability to see the so-called progressive patterns for what they are. New arrivals generally lack the perspective necessary to understand how non-immigrants feel about these topics. It's one reason why Prime Minister Justin Trudeau prefers third-world citizens over our old-stock communities. Citizens old enough to recall the Expo 1967 celebration in Montreal get the picture. In retrospect, we see what a pivotal moment this was. Two nation-changing events occurred at this time. Pierre Trudeau took over from Lester B. Pearson as Liberal Prime Minister. Secondly, criterion for immigration to Canada shifted to a points-based system. In 1971 came another critical change. With no buy-in from the people of Canada, Pierre Trudeau cancelled our bicultural English-French identity, and replaced it with multiculturalism. By the time Trudeau Sr. had integrated the Charter of Rights and Freedoms 1982 into our Constitution, elements were in place for an axiomatic social transformation. Though media has never spelled it out, Canada became a born-again nation. Over the next 3 decades, society underwent an inversion. Those who dominated our institutions were branded with a black mark. Anglophones are racists, Christians are bigots. According to the woke liberal belief system, these folks are responsible for all hardships experienced by so-called minority communities. Specific manifestations resulted as the phenomenon became ingrained in our culture. Throughout the following decades, Canada transitioned from the 1-2-3 Canadian we love the ethos of Expo 67 to a nation rooted in social prejudice. Upon the establishment of Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister in 2015, our nation had solidified into a self-hating country populated by racists and bigots. No Canadian politician has pushed this dynamic more than Justin Trudeau. With the assistance of ideological partner Jagmeet Singh, leader of the New Democratic Party, Canada developed its postmodern identity as a country of xenophobes and homophobes. The fact that it's a complete lie made no difference. With media paid off by the Trudeau government, national self-loathing became the order of the day. A serious subtext developed as Trudeau delivered historical apologies to Sikhs, Chinese, Muslims, Jews, Indigenous and homosexual communities. Ours was a nation founded upon hatred. The innocence of Canada was a lie, therefore retribution must occur. Because establishment media eschewed these developments, they were freed from addressing the motivation for Canada's woke revolution. Why is this process so important to government? What is the purpose of dredging up every piece of dirt on the shortcomings of Canada's historical development? In 2022, everybody's doing it. Government, media, corporations, as well as our academic world. Add to this a plethora of taxpayer-funded multicultural organizations. Interconnectivity among all has led to the branding of Canada as a hateful, malevolent society. For a purpose. How much more effective it is to seduce a citizenship who think poorly of themselves. Were Canadians purposefully corralled by government into this state of self-loathing? All the better to bring an end to Phase 1 of Canadian identity in advance of ushering in a third world-dominated, quasi-communist society. It's the stuff of Pierre Trudeau dreams as facilitated by so-called son Justin Trudeau. Witness an undermining of pride in country, instilled to grease the wheels for pending social transformation. Patriotism is taboo. CBC rebranded nationalism as Nazism. All with preconceived purpose of redefining Canadian society for all time. We look to leading proponents. These are not truckers or working-class Canadians. Rather, they are the most powerful political figures in the land. Justin Trudeau for one, with NDP leader Jagmeet Singh nipping at his heels. Do these men really care deeply about the plight of Indigenous communities? Does the self-centered, what's in it for me character of Justin Trudeau validate such a concept? Does Jagmeet Singh's ethnocentricity and Anglophone bashing suggest a degree of caring for those outside his community? At its core is a pursuit of economic and cultural relativism. Take from wealthy nations and give to so-called developing nations. The blending of distinct cultural identities into a generic commodity, as fostered by Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. Trudeau and Singh share this worldview, an establishment of a socialist world community controlled by a 1% capitalist billionaire class. Thus it is that Canadian society is being transitioned to what 38 million Canadians have never asked for. Our innocence is lost. Our Liberal government has buried all forms of national benevolence. For Prime Minister Trudeau, not only are those who built Canada racists, so too are their descendants. According to woke liberal ideology, our communities must pay the price with a demotion in the power structure of Canadian society. Thus it is that old stock Canada find themselves in the Liberal government's doghouse. As immigration policy continues to diminish Anglophone populations, Justin Trudeau pushes the woke agenda like a Roman chariot racer driving horses to a globalist finish line.